Arsenal's bid for Mudryk has been rejected by Shakhtar Donetsk. Arsenal are planning to build a statue to honor what Arsene Wenger did for them ever since he came in through at the club of Arsenal. And lastly, we are going to talk about Milinkovic-Savic, a source coming in from Italy confirming to us that Arsenal is leading the race to sign this player. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. Rokani David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time we upload a video onto this channel. Now, you know the Premier League really went in through Arsenal winning 3-1 against West Ham United. Won yesterday United won 3-0. Chelsea won by 2-0 against Bournemouth. And today it's Man City versing a team called Leeds. And they're paying a visit to Leeds, which is not going to be a very easy fixture for Man City because Aaron Road is really something hard. And we can't wait to see how that game is going to fold out at the end of the game. Remember, Man City comes into this game of football when Arsenal is ahead of them by 8 points. If at all they don't win, they'll find themselves either 8 behind or 7 behind Arsenal, meaning that they're supposed to go on and win to retain their second position because Newcastle has overtaken them at 33 points. So that is, now let's get into the Mudryk story. Fabrizio Romano confirming to us that Shakhtar have confirmed to Arsenal they will not accept their opening official bid for Mudryk, worth 40 million euros plus 20 million euros. It has been turned down as reported on Monday, but Arsenal are still in contact with Shakhtar and player side negotiations will continue. That's what Fabrizio has gone ahead to confirm to us, that a bid that was made by Arsenal on Sunday evening has been turned down and rejected, but negotiations continue on the player side and Shakhtar because the player is pushing to see to it that he joins Arsenal. And when Arsenal goes ahead to make a bid, just know they'll have to get this deal done and dusted because that's what they're supposed to do. This is one of the best talents that is coming in from Ukraine and is a generational talent. When you look at the way he plays, he's really exciting. You would love to see him come and be integrated into that Arsenal team of Mikel Arteta. And Arsenal are really good at scouting. You know, when you are having scouts like those of Arsenal and you are getting in players like Mudryk from Neuer, Fabio Vieira's, that shows you that your future is in the best hands. Reason being, you will always go on and make those mystery signings that not even Man City, Manchester United, Chelsea or Liverpool, those are your competitors, are even looking at. That puts them in a very particular position of really building one of the strongest squads in the world because Mudryk was nowhere to be known. I got to know about his name last summer. That's when I got to know about him when he was linked to Arsenal. And this came in through after Fabrizio Romano confirmed to us that Arsenal are looking in for mystery signing and they are not going to go for the usual wingers that you've been seeing for some long time. Remember, David Austin had told us that Arsenal are in for Pedro Neto. Then we had rumors of Leroy Sen, Diaby Moussa. The other one was Gerard Bowen, Huffy Barnes. Which other player were they linked to? There is another player, Zegrova, and very many others, especially left-footed players. But this time around, Mudryk has gone ahead to lead everything, and Arsenal are really looking at him as the ideal signing for Arsenal this January transfer window. And let's wait and see how everything is going to go on and happen because negotiations are still going on to see how Arsenal is going to go ahead and get in a player known as Mudryk. Then Mark Ogden, you know, he's a senior writer at ESPN, has gone ahead to confirm to us that Shakhtar have rejected Arsenal's 65 million offer for Mudryk. Sources have told ESPN that Arsenal are the only team to have made a formal offer to Shakhtar for Mudryk, and negotiations between the two sides are continuing. That's it. So even Odgen has gone ahead to confirm to us that it has been rejected as Fabrizio Romano, but he has told us that Shakhtar has gone ahead to confirm that Arsenal are the only team that have gone ahead to make a formal offer. You get? It's the only team that have gone ahead to make a formal offer, meaning that for now it's only Arsenal in the race of signing Mudryk. And I believe there are a few teams that can go in and really sign this player, because if 65 million euros have been turned down for Arsenal, I don't believe that Southampton, Leeds, and Everton, teams that we are looking for this player in the summer, can raise this amount of money. I believe the only teams that can come in and rival Arsenal are Man City, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Those are the 4 teams I believe can come in and really rival Arsenal in this deal. Manchester United, they cannot even move a needle, because they even failed to pay £37 million to get in Cody Gakpo. And they've gone ahead to confirm to us that they don't have money. So it shows you that they are only opting for loans. And that's why you'll see a deal of Memphis Depay or João Felix possible for Manchester United to get it done, because the only option they are left with is to get players out there on loan. So Arsenal is the only team that has made a formal offer to Shakhtar Donetsk, confirmed to us by Mark Odegan, a senior writer at ESPN. Then Sam Jadin, he's a football writer for the Daily Telegraph, has told us that Arsenal opening bid for Shakhtar Donetsk winger Mudryk has been rejected. Negotiations are ongoing between Arsenal and Shakhtar, with a growing expectation that a deal will eventually be agreed if the English club are willing to raise their offer. So I believe the deal is going to happen. The deal is going to happen because Arsenal cannot lose out on this player. They can't lose out on this player because other teams are really ready to go on and sign him. For though they don't sign him in January, that will create a lot of competition for Arsenal in the summer. Yet in the summer, Arsenal will be planning to see to it that they reinforce other departments like a left-footed central defender, midfield, and maybe a left attacking midfielder. A right attacking midfielder who plays with the left foot. Meaning that they'll be wanting 3 more players in the summer, and they need to get this deal done and dusted. That's why they are really dying to get in Mudryk this January transfer window. Reason being, they don't want to have loads of players to go and fight for in the summer, because teams always have huge budgets in the summer. But right now, there are few teams that can counter Arsenal into this. And when you leave him at Shakhtar to play in the UEFA Europa League, he might go ahead to have 1 or 2, 3 games that are really going to awaken teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG, and so many more other Premier League teams, hence making that hard. But right now, having not been in the World Cup, I believe teams were so much focused on players playing in the World Cup. Now, Shakhtar Donetsk's Mudryk is really in a better position to join Arsenal. But talks are really ongoing, and expectations are growing that a deal will eventually be agreed if the English club are willing to raise their offer. And I know they are willing to raise their offer because they made the bid, and I know it was turned down, but they are really planning to go ahead and really hold negotiations. Shakhtar are hoping to receive as much as £85 million for Mudryk, and Arsenal's original offer understood to be worth up to £55 million, reports Samuel Dean. So they are like £30 million apart. Let's wait and see whether Arsenal is going to raise it to that level. And now, Jacobs Ben, you know him very well. He works for CBS Sport Golazo, and obviously he has been at the Give Me Sport podcast. He told us that publicly, Shakhtar say that they want €100 million for Mudryk, and comparison keeps being made with Grealish and his transfer fee. But the reality of the situation, and the sources back this up privately, is that offers will be entertained for less than that. That's it. 100% believe in what Jacobs Ben is telling us about Mudryk's offer, because you can't tell me they can compare Mudryk to Jack Grealish. Talent-wise, Mudryk is a better talent than Jack Grealish, but Jack Grealish teared up the Premier League at Aston Villa, and he was really at the helm of every game and every team he faced. He fired in very many goals and proved himself. So, if Mudryk was playing at Aston Villa, I think they would have sold him £150 million. You get? But the games are in the Champions League are not convincing enough to put a price tag of close to €100 million onto the player. I believe they know what they want, but it cannot raise to €100 million according to me. I believe it's going to be less. It's going to be less. It's going to be less. I think Arsenal will cough like €60 million up front plus 20 million euros of add-ons. That will be accepted, I believe. They just need to go on and add some other 20 million euros of upfront and they raise 60. That will really move a team known as Shakhtar, according to me. But I believe lots of things are really going to go on and happen. Now, let's go to Italy, as Corriere dello Sport concerning Serge Milinkovic-Savic. We've been told that Arsenal are in pole position to sign Serge Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio. They will mostly turn up in June for the midfielder, and the club would want 40 to 50 million euros. Savic now sees Arsenal as an attractive option due to their form. Now, Serge Milinkovic-Savic is really a player that is really interesting. As I told you earlier, he has been linked to the Premier League for very many years. Since 2016, when Jose Mourinho came in throughout Manchester United, he has been linked to Manchester United and other Premier League teams. But those are now 6 years down the road. And by that time, he was 21. Now he's like 27, 28 years of age. But when you are talking about a complete midfielder, Serge Milinkovic-Savic is the one you're talking about. He's the best description of a complete midfielder. He's a towering of a lad, scores aerial duels, wins lots of aerial duels. He's good and comfortable on the ball on both feet. So he is really a different kind of player altogether. And if I told you to come into Arsenal this summer, then Arsenal would have really done a lot and would have made up their mind that maybe Sambi Albert Lokonga is going to be loaned and El Nini is going to be out of the team. Because if Arsenal is to add 2 other midfielders, that means El Nini and Sambi Lokonga should pave way for them out of this club of Arsenal. And that is exactly what Arsenal is really doing today. But that does not really take out Yuri Tielemans, because I believe Tielemans is really one of those players that Arsenal are really going to go for either in January or the summer, because he's a cheaper option. Mikel Arteta has been chasing him for a very long time. But you have to consider that Arsenal, to sign Serge Milinkovic-Savic, might find themselves into a situation they are into with Shakhtar Donetsk of Mudryk, because the president of Lazio said if they are to go on and sell Serge Milinkovic-Savic, a team needs to raise 100 million euros to sign the player. I don't believe that Arsenal could go in and pay 100 million euros for a player who is 27, 28 years of age. Yet there is Yuri Tielemans, who is going to be there on a free in the summer. Then there is Danilo, who Arsenal are really interested in. And there is McAllister, who is just 23 years of age, playing at Brighton, already Premier League proven, and Mikel Arteta has shown interest in the player. So that means Serge Milinkovic-Savic deal to Arsenal might really find itself at an impossibility, because I don't see how Arsenal really execute this one, because the team where he plays for Lazio wants to sell him expensively and they are rating him highly, and his contract expires on the 30th of June 2024, meaning that in the summer he's going to be left with 1 year. That means obviously Arsenal can get him on a cheap, but it's going to depend on what the president or Lazio is really going to be thinking about him. But I believe the player believes it's time for him to make his next destination. And I believe this talk is being pushed a lot by his agent. They want to come and play in the Premier League. But very many teams will go on and sign Serge Milinkovic-Savic. The likes of Newcastle will come in through and sign him, because they are really going to be playing in Europe, according to me. Because my top 6, I believe my top 4 is going to be Arsenal or City. Then Liverpool and Manchester United are really going to be in the 3rd and 4th place. So Chelsea and Newcastle are likely to be in the 5th and 6th places, meaning that they are really going to be playing the UEFA Europa League, and they will attract more players, because they are not playing in Europe, but they've gone ahead to attract very good players. So that puts them in a very perfect situation of signing players like Serge Milinkovic-Savic. But I believe even Arsenal will have a touch of signing the player, and if at all you are told they are leading the race, or they're in a pole position to sign Serge Milinkovic-Savic in June, that is the summer, that is something great. Reason being, he is really a very good player. I would love to see him in the Premier League. And if Arsenal improve on their midfield and add in Tielemans and Serge Milinkovic-Savic, oh my God, that would be a very, very, very good summer for Arsenal, because creativity would have increased times 10. Savic, a season, can average 30 goals in the Serie A, meaning that if he crosses from Serie A to the Premier League, he can average like 15 to 20 goals. that will be great for Arsenal. And secondly, his area threat. He's good at scoring headers and winning headers, meaning that Arsenal are really looking at players that can get in and improve on their set-piece conversion rate, especially when it comes to free kicks, headers, and crosses coming in from their fullbacks. Because when you look at the fullbacks of Arsenal, they can really put in pretty good crosses, but they don't do it more often because they don't have players who are really good at heading those balls into the back of the net. That's why I've gone ahead and told people of Arsenal that I rather do a Vlahovic deal than a João Felix, because Vlahovic comes in through to offer something different for the Arsenal club. You get? That they don't have. So that is a player known as Milinkovic-Savic, he being linked to the club called Arsenal. Now, there is a story coming in from the Telegraph about Arsenal and their plans to really do something special for the professor, that is Arsene Wenger. We've been told by the Telegraph Sport by Jeremy Wilson that Arsenal are ready to build a statue of Arsene Wenger outside the Emirates Stadium, potentially as early as next year, following his surprise Boxing Day return to the club, reports Jeremy Wilson. If there is something Arsenal should do, first, it's honoring Arsene Wenger when he's still alive. This man did lots of things. He turned Arsenal into a team it is, because Arsenal was nowhere near teams that were really famous, not until they signed Arsene Wenger in 1996. And because he was good and he had very many good scouts, that's how he really made it possible to get players like Sylvain Wiltord, Nicolas Anelka, Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Ljungberg, Roy Pala, and very many others. He kept on signing players on the cheap and sold them on a high. He came in with a very good economic system that bolstered Arsenal's income and wealth and net worth to a level of becoming one of the top 10 richest or wealthiest clubs in the world. That's what he did. And he did a plan, or a master plan for Arsenal, to shift from Highbury to Emirates. And how did he do it? He told them, let's go borrow money, build a new stadium, and where Highbury was, let us build their apartments and sell them. And they sold them expensively, and they got back the money, and they continued to pay that loan, and I think that loan got done. I think, is it in 2016, 2017? And that's why you saw to it that during those years, when Arsenal entered Emirates, I think they entered Emirates in 2005, 2006. Arsenal came on, and every year they laid out a plan that we have to sell out one player. That's why you saw them selling Emmanuel Adebayo to Man City, Cliche, Nasri, Sanya, Kolo Toure, Cesc Fabregas, Robin van Persie, Vermaelen, Song Belong, and very many others. They found themselves selling those players because they wanted to raise money to see to it that their books of accounts balance very well, and obviously not be penalized by the FIFA financial fair play rule. And that's why you saw to it that when Arsene Wenger was near leaving Arsenal, he was able to sign players for 40 and 50 million pounds, like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He signed him expensively, I think 54 million pounds. Then after he left, Arsenal was able to go out and sign a player at 73 million pounds. That was Nicolas Pepe from Lille in France. So ever since then, he offered a solution to Arsenal, and that's why you see to it that Arsenal can go in and offer close to 60 million euros to sign Mudryk. You get? That is it, because Mikel Arteta's expensive signing is Ben White, 50 million pounds. And then he was followed by Gabriel Jesus at 45 million pounds. Then you bring in Zinchenko. There is Fabio Vieira. There is this other guy. Martin Odegaard. So everything that you're seeing at Arsenal, being ready to spend that amount of money, all that was the sweat that was broken by Arsene Wenger. And I believe he deserves the statue, the invisible season of them winning the Premier League unbeaten, taking them to the Champions League final. I think every history that Arsenal has right now was written under the era of Arsene Wenger. That's it. So I believe he deserves that statue, and I can't wait to see him being unveiled in a statue outside Emirates Stadium. So guys, tell me what you think about Mudryk's bid rejected, Savic to Arsenal, as Arsenal are in the pole position to go on and really do the needful to sign him in the summer, then a statue of Arsene Wenger outside Emirates. Would you welcome it? Yes or no in the comment section below. Rokani David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later, my mates.